So with the legislative session now in our rear view, we have time to tell you beyond the budget what passed and what didn't. Stuff you're going to want to know because it impacts your daily lives. Here's Danny Spiewak.
In the most narrowly divided legislature in Minnesota history,
this was a hard-fought session.
Lawmakers finalized their last budget bills around 2 a.m. Tuesday.
And I'm proud of what we accomplished, although I am a bit tired, and I bet you are too.
Now that everybody has gotten some more sleep, it's starting to become more clear what else passed and what didn't inside the many bills that make up Minnesota's $66.8 billion budget over the next 2 years. Let's start with transportation. In that bill, lawmakers doubled fees for electric vehicle registration, limited who can get a rebate for e-bikes, and devoted funding for barriers on the Washington Avenue Bridge at the U of M to prevent suicides. Moving to education, the legislature made tough cuts to special education transportation and set up a commission to find $250 million in more special education cuts in the following budget cycle.
Not limiting, but capping off the special ed because we have, just really skyrocketing special ed issues.
Meanwhile, with Republicans holding influence in the tied House, the legislature largely avoided tax increases in this budget, with one notable exception on cannabis. Through an agreement with Governor Walz and legislative leaders, the state has increased the tax on cannabis from 10% to 15%, despite opposition from DFL Senate Taxes Chair Ann Rest.
When a price gets high, you look for a black market.
Republicans also had questions about the cannabis tax.
The market really hasn't rolled out yet legally, so we'll see how that goes.
One of the biggest surprises late in the session was the revival of a bonding bill that funds infrastructure projects through borrowed money. Just days after DFL leaders said it was dead for the second year in a row, they struck an agreement with Senate GOP Minority Leader Mark Johnson, whose caucus provided the supermajority of support needed for a bonding measure. The bill includes money for local water projects, a new BCA regional office, and an expansion of a mental health treatment facility in Anoka.
It is everything I hoped it would be going into the Capital Investment Committee this year. This is what I was hoping we would come out with.
There were also a lot of things that didn't pass this session. That includes a statewide inspector general proposal to investigate fraud and funding to revamp Xcel Energy Center in St. Paul, a big disappointment for the city and the Minnesota Wild. Danny Spiewak, KARE 11 News.